Hi, I'm Pietro, and I teach all courses included under the sphere of history of contemporary art and social studies, or art and criticism. Art and Politics is a course focused on the way artists, since the beginning of the 20th century, started to empower themselves in order to make a kind of art which is not more conditioned by hierarchical powers. So, more in detail and more the course goes ahead in the history of the last and present century. It shows how art and activism and struggles for civil and human rights run together, sometimes overlapping their pathways, sometimes finding points of continuity, sometimes stressing out the differences. There's not a formal skill required, but it's good to have an idea of what art history has been in at least in 19th and 20th century, and also a general idea of the history, political history of the planet in the 20th century. Feminism in art follows the presence of women in the art world of the 20th and 21st centuries. It's focused especially on the second wave era, so the turn of the 70s, and especially the USA artists who engaged their life as an artistic life and as an activist life. We explore also some of the Italian and European feminist artists. For this course, it is recommended to have a good knowledge of the 20th century history of art. This course explores the history of art in Italy, starting from the avant-garde, the Futurism and its relationship with the other European avant-gardes. And then it goes decade after decade exploring the relationship between artists and the conditions of power, so especially art under fascism and the aftermath of the World War II, and then the new avant-garde season up to contemporary artists I work with. So it's very connected to the reality, to the art system in Italy now. To study this, to follow this course, is recommended to have a general idea of history of contemporary art in Europe and in USA. This course is amongst a theoretical and a practical course, a lecture and a studio course, because it's aimed to show how a curator does work. Curator is an invention of the 20th century, is a professional profile who works between the work of the art critic and the work of the organizer of shows and events. During the course, the students are asked to create their own project, giving space to a vision they want to convey with a possible exhibition or a possible public program or community-based project. And at the end of the course, the students are asked to make a real show in the SRISA gallery with works chosen amongst the ones made by the students of SRISA. SRISA is special because it's a family, first of all. All the people who work here have been chosen by the director and the president for their qualities, for their skills, but also for their ability of working as a team. And the relationships we create with the students are always very close, very one-to-one, peer-to-peer. Moreover, SRISA is in the center of Florence, and you can inhabit the city from a perspective which is not the usual visitor-like perspective. You can live it from inside of the city. Also because most of the teachers, we are locals, or we dwell in Florence since decades. So all the activities are connected with a cultural life, which is precluded to tourists usually. We have a gallery where we host international artists as well as Italian artists or artists who live and work in Florence. And that creates an immediate spontaneous bridge between the student community and the wider community of Florence. Oh, learning. I learn a lot from my students. Decolonize your mind.